I even saying? Okay, let's say Lawrence celebrity tier list. Let's check it out. Right, who the hell is that? Adele? I wish it had. Okay, Adele. Right, is Wingstop band now like Zoidberg? What? I'm confused. Okay, let's start. All right, let's just get into this. Right, we're going to be ranking celebrities, A-list celebrities here, based on their vibes. We decided we're going to rank them based on their vibes. Adele has pretty good vibes, I can't lie. I feel like I haven't really heard much from her in the last few years. Adele is on the top end of this list, just purely based on her early vibes. She had immaculate vibes in her early career. All right, HME. Yeah, Adele, early Adele in her career carried like her vibes. I would say she really broke through the sort of like concept of, just because she was so real. Like, obviously I haven't really heard much from her. What are you talking about? We haven't really heard much from her recently, so I don't know what's kind of going on. But based on her early career vibes, and generally, like, I think she's pretty cool, seemingly. And her vibes seem pretty good. So I'm gonna put Adele at it's A or B in my opinion. Why are you guys saying C? What is not? I feel like C is kind of like okay. I feel like no, AJ. Oh fuck this. All right, you boys got to chill with that. Nah, you got to chill with that. A or B. All right, you guys can have a veto, but I would say that like Adele's early career vibes carried it. So I'm gonna put Adele at a B, just because like I don't really know what's the crack now. What's Adele saying now? Has she become like? Yeah, that's true. But that's not. We're not really. I guess she's done. Do you know what? I'm gonna put Adele on A. We're starting off really high. The reason I'm gonna put her on A is because she's so significantly. She's had such a significant effect, I think, on the industry with her ability. So I think either A. Do you know what? I'm gonna put Adele starting at B, and we can move her around on the list. Look, boys, lads, you got to realize like we're looking at general vibes on the industry, but we're also looking at like significance. She's got good vibes. I know what you boys are talking about. I think Adele. Maybe we need to do this based on how good they'll be having a pint at the pub. Really, Alpha? Now I think okay. Do you know what? With the vibe basis of our list, is like how chill are they? That because we're looking at A-list celebrity vibes, right? I can see Susan Boyle's in there as well. We're looking at A-list celebrity vibes. Thank you, Punishing, for building this list as well. We're looking at A-list celebrity vibes. How chill would they be at the pub? That's literally the basis of this whole ranking. It's like a big part of this. So I think Adele is a B in my opinion. Like I think she's probably like maybe become a bit cynical from the length of experience she's had in the industry. So her vibe in the pub might not be as good as it was in her early career. But I think Adele's pub vibe. Her Insta live stream was god tier. Okay, all right. Claire, I take it you're a very strong fan of Adele. So I'm going to have to temper that a little bit. I would say Adele, in terms of how much I'd like to have a pint with her at a pub, we're going with a B. Right, let's move on. That's my setting for now. I think, again, we're basing it majority on what's their vibe at the pub with a pint. Okay. Andrew Garfield. Don't really know much about him, to be honest. Obviously, he was Spider-Man. Yeah, her person, again, that's what we're basing this a lot on. We're looking a little bit at like what they've done for the industry, but then what their vibe is at the pub. So you just got a picture, you're sat across them at the pub, in some London pub, and what's their vibe, and what's the night looking like? That's what we got to kind of imagine. Right, Andrew Garfield, you're saying F. What? I don't really know much about him. He seems, to be honest, what I've seen him in interviews is he just goes along with whatever the popular opinion is. And so, like, what I feel would happen is that, like, basically you have to figure out the night. Like, it'd be entirely up to you to figure out what you're doing. So I don't think he'll bring any vibes, but I feel like he'll go along with whatever vibes you want to go with. That's kind of, that's my sense of him. Like, he doesn't give much of a leader vibe, but he gives more of like he seems loyal. Like he'll be up for it, and he's not going to be like snaky. So I think Andrew Garfield. Why F HME? Can you justify your F? You get a veto, boys. At the end of this list, you all get a veto, so... Yeah, all right, fine. But we're not just looking at what they've done in their careers. We're thinking, how would they be at a pub over a pint? But B is still very strong. Right, Andrew Garfield. Why F? Hold on. F because he's... H me, that's not what we're doing this list based on. I'm going to disregard everything you say if you don't give a good justification for this. What's Jesse saying? C. Yeah, that's where I'd put Andrew. Again, I'd put Andrew in a C because I think I don't think he's gonna. I don't think Adele could set the tone for the night, like fun, like be like, right, it's gonna be good crack. Whereas Andrew Garfield, I feel like he's never gonna set the tone like for the night, for the vibes. But I think he'll more than happily come along with your vibes. Wait, what does that mean, Tilla? Who's MJ? No way, Luke. Adele is way better vibes over a pint than Andrew Garfield. Just because he's Spider-Man, it's not like you're doing an interview with the geezer about Spider-Man. You're already friends with him, sat at the pub having a pint, and what's the vibe? It's a C. Like he's gonna come along with you for a good night, and I think again, like I said, I think he'll be up for like what you could do. You could go for like a really gritty night, or you could go for like a really like posh night, and I think he'll be up for either of those vibes, and he'll actually be quite comfortable in both scenarios. Like you could be at a squat in Southeast London for the afters, or you could be at like flipping Annabelle's, and he'll still be like he'll be equally good crack at both. But he's not gonna be like, yeah, we should go do this. He's gonna be like, all right, I'm coming along. That's kind of how I feel. What Andrew Garfield's accent? What's his accent like? What's up, Nick? No, Nico. We're not doing smash or pass. We're doing what's the A-list celebrity tier list vibes. Essentially, what's their vibe like? What's their vibe for a pint at the pub? That's what we're basing it on mentally. All right. What's it? Oh my god, I forgot his name. Can you boys call out the names for the next one so I don't look like a complete Luddite? What? I just know he was in Peaky Blinders. I do know him as an actor. Can you tell me? Cillian Murphy, thank you. Oh my gosh, yeah. Sorry, boys, I'm very tired, so my mind is not going to work necessarily. Cillian Murphy, this is a tough one. He's purposefully withholding in the media. Like he doesn't like to give much. And I think that's part of his, it's not that. It's part of his craft. Danny Dyer would be top tier. What, a pint at the pub? Getting defensive when I asked if we do a smash or pass. Oh, I would, Nico, if I wasn't this tired, I would have good crack to respond with that with, but I have no banter at the minute because I'm actually just exhausted. Right, Cillian Murphy. I think the night gets weird, okay? So you're having a pint with him, and I think all of a sudden he just says some like crazy, like I think he just says something that like, he like questions, like I feel like you could say the wrong thing with him, like quite easily. And I think he'll either get offended or he'll push you on something. I think that sort of crack at the pub can sometimes be a little bit intense. So I think you're sort of sat there, it's all kind of fun and games, and all of a sudden, yeah, but you've had a few pints, and he says, which is quite fun. If you're at the right pub, and you're at an edgy pub to begin with, like, it's actually, like, you kind of want your night like that. Jose, it's because I had spicy food yesterday. I didn't sleep all last night. I don't know, boys. I don't know if you lads have been out with someone who's got that sort of vibe. It can be really, like, intense. So much so that you kind of feel like you want to leave at some point. Like, it can be super intense, lads. I think that's the kind of vibe you need at the pub. I don't think you want a normie. Like, I think you want someone who's, like, a bit, like, intense. So I'm going to put him next to Adele, just because I think he would pull out some. I think he would like. I think the evening can become outrageous in like a good way. Yeah, Nico. Some people are like that, bro. Like, it literally will take one thing and their mind will switch, especially if they've had a few drinks, and then you're on their shit list for the whole night. Or like like I've hung around people like this. As someone who is an undiagnosed autistic person, I find it very difficult because it affects me a lot when I get the vibe that someone like messes me up. You're like that when you're sober. Yeah, Nico, I get that sense a little bit from you. It seems like you have quite to some degree black and white thinking for yourself. Your sense of your perception of the world. He'd drink a Guinness. Yeah, I think he would drink a Guinness, but I think it'd be a really intense evening, like the sort of smoke-filled room evening. Ronaldo. Yeah, I know you boys are really not gonna like my answer for this. Yeah, Nico, I sense that, bro. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, everyone's different like that. I find that challenging personally just because half the time I don't know when I'm saying the wrong or right things. I just don't. It's just something I find difficult to ascertain. And I usually use people's vibes to guess whether I'm doing that or not. So that when someone... Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Ronaldo, terrible at the pub. Terrible. No, Ronaldo... Boys, you can't just say Ronaldo's S tier at the pub for his vibes just because it's Ronaldo. Like all the clips and stuff I've seen of Ronaldo, like, and I'm really not trying to shade him at all on this because low-key we would be cool to work with him. I just don't think he would be good at the pub. You don't think he'll drink? I think he'll drink like a gin and tonic or something like that, or like a whiskey. I think he'll drink like a fancy whiskey. He'd go up to the bar and say, "What's your most expensive whiskey?" and he'll buy it for everyone, maybe even if you didn't want it. He doesn't drink at all. All right. It's not really... Okay, all right. It's not about drinking or not drinking. Okay. He doesn't drink then. He doesn't drink. Fine. But it's... Okay, what's his vibe still? All right. You can be in a pub and not drink, right? So all right. He's ordered a flipping... What's he ordering? A water. All right. I've ordered a water at a pub before. All right. But he's still going to have a vibe when he's sat there. It's not F because he's ordering a water. I'm just going to clarify that. But I think... In my feeling is that he'll just want to kind of talk about his football career, which is totally fair, I just don't think I could sit there for 5 hours talking to Ronaldo about his football career. Maybe I could. I mean, it is interesting enough. That's the problem. It's like he kind of deserves the ego. That is the issue. So like but it's Ronaldo. Like he deserves the ego in some ways because it's Ronaldo. So in some ways, if I had to listen to someone sit and talk about themselves for 5 hours, I kind of wouldn't mind if it was Ronaldo, but I wouldn't love every minute of it. He just in the reflection of the glass, Claire, across the table from you. I think he would be like... I just don't think he'd be interested in anything particularly. Like I kind of just feel like it'd be clock watching. And that isn't really a pub vibe. Just because I'm going to fall into peer pressure here a little bit. I'm not going to put him at F. I'm going to put him at D. Because it's Ronaldo. Ronaldo, unfortunately, he gets a 1. I would put it at an F, but he gets a 1 rank jump just because it's Ronaldo. I'm sorry, I can't do it, boys. You don't think he'll just talk about himself, Jose? Why? Every interview he's ever done has just been about him. No? Yeah, all right, I'll come to Messi. I think you guys are shocking. Gave him the D. No, all right, chill with that. Yeah, Messi. I don't know. Maybe I'm showing my Ronaldo versus Messi. He's a humble man. Are you sure, Jose? Is he humble? I don't know if he's humble, bro. Is he humble? He deserves not to be humble. That's what I'm saying. It's Ronaldo. But you, Jose, you're telling me you would rather go to the pub and have a pint with Ronaldo than you would rather... Well, being Portuguese doesn't mean you don't have an ego. You'd rather go to the pub and have a pint with Ronaldo than you'd rather go to the pub and have a pint with Adele or Cillian Murphy or Andrew Garfield. We're getting through the whole list. I don't think he would brag. I think his accomplishments are so big that he doesn't need to brag. Are you just saying that because he's a footballer? I don't get the sense that he's humble. I get the sense that he kind of acknowledges his level of success. I don't think it's about... I think he's so successful that it doesn't really matter. His ego is not really a factor in this, in some ways. It's like... I think it would just be Ronaldo at the pub. Yeah, Nico, I mean, I agree with that. Like, it doesn't make a good interaction. I mean, boys, it's Ronaldo. Like, I think anyone in Ronaldo's position, I think, would find it hard to have no ego. But I don't think I don't know about Ronaldo's ego, to be honest. Based on the interviews that I've seen with him, look, we're imagining we're talking in perfect communication. Wait, Jose, what has that got to do? I don't quite understand what that's got to do with how good he would be to have a pint with. I feel like you're quite a big Jose. It's a bit like the Adele situation with Claire. I feel like you're quite a big Ronaldo fan. Yeah, Luke, I feel that a little bit. Nico, that's how I feel. I don't know much about it, but I just don't feel like he'll be. I just don't feel like he'll be someone like. I just don't feel like he'll be good at the pub. I might be wrong with that. I want to hear Jose. Jose's got interesting points because he's obviously a strong fan. So I want to hear from someone who he seems to know more about all of us in chat. Know more about him than all of us. Yeah, Claire, we're just imagining it's like the perfect situation. Like maybe I speak Portuguese or something like that. It can be like a made up situation. But even in that case, like I don't know. I'm feeling the peer pressure here a little bit. This is just my personal feeling. I'm not moving on to Messi. We're going to go through the list in order. I just want to hear what Jose has to say, because Jose seems to be the biggest fan out of you lot. Jose's gone AFK. Okay, fair, Claire. What are you arguing though, Jose? So because we're arguing who's got the who's got the best vibes to have a pint with, essentially. You think if you look for someone just to be you want someone just to be a nice guy to have you think that makes a fun night out or fun pint with them? Alpha, that's how I feel. But like I said, he's interesting enough that I'd sit and listen to him talk about himself for 5 hours. Yeah, Claire feels F, but I don't know. I feel like I've offended Jose with this one. Jose, you can veto it later, man. I just think that, like... Alright, Jose, imagine if it wasn't Ronaldo, bro, and it was just like a normal geezer. Like, you want to sit and listen to a geezer talk about their whole life. Maybe we've got different expectations of what a fun night at a pub is, to be fair. What the vibes are. I'm feeling bad. Do you know what? I feel the pressure a little bit, so we're going to move Ronaldo to C. Just it's the Ronaldo effect, boys. He wins even when he doesn't mean to. That's true, Nico, bro. But Nico, man, you would love a Spoons in the UK at 11 a.m, bro. You can go listen to them geezers chat on about their life. They don't care if you're interested or not. That you'll just have to listen, bro. I just feel like, all right, the Ronaldo effect took place here. I'm moving him up one. Fair, Nico, bro. Jose, I don't feel like he's. I'm not offended, bro. I'm concerned. You're offended at my placement of him on D. Anyway, let's move on. Drake. Oh man. Okay, so. All right, we can veto later on, boys. Drake. This is a complicated one. Yeah, fair, Nico, bro. But you can hypothetically imagine doing that. Drake is a C, straight up. Why? Straight away. I think he's got like. I think it'll be a very weird night. I think the night, like, at some point you'll question, like, where the night is going. Yeah, Claire, that's what that. I'm not going to say anything because I'm not trying to get litigated, but I just feel like it at some point the night will kind of shift energy. Like I've hung out with people like this, and you're just like, oh, like, what is the energy shift? Jose, I just think there would be an energy shift, and I think it wouldn't. It's like your first pint would be all right, and then as the night goes on, there'll be an energy shift that's like, you know, I don't know. I feel like part of me feels like it's the sort of vibe of like that one mate, you're at the pub, you're having a few pints, you're all enjoying just being at the local pub, and that one mate is like, oh, let's go to the strip club, and it's like flipping 9 p.m. and you've had one pint, you got there at 8:30. It's like, well, why are we gonna go? Just like, look, we all come out here to meet friends, catch up, and he's like, oh, let's go strip club. What for? What, like, realistically, why? Like, why that early in the night? At least, yeah, Drake. But there is an element of that sort of like wily kind of like, well, it can be extremely hit and miss. Like sometimes, like just because of what they have, like access wise, I feel like you could get to the best nightclubs ever. So I'm gonna put him at a D. No, he's not a wholesome guy. Are you mad? I definitely wouldn't describe Drake as wholesome, bro. Yeah, I'm cautious to put anyone F and S at this early on in the thing. What's their vibe having a pint with them, Araman? That's the only way I can. Like, obviously we're from the UK, so that's how you got to vibe it out. I have Nico, bro. Basil, is that a joke? He definitely isn't, brother. Oh no, I'm like offending all of you guys. You guys are like fans of each of them. This is gonna be challenging. Can everyone just put down the fact that you're fans of celebrities at all at this point? Yeah, Claire, that's fair. To have an opinion of that. I'm really trying not to get litigated here. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Giving people money is pretty wholesome. But what's the percent? I mean, he's got infinite money, doesn't he, Fazza? If I had infinite money, I'd give people money, so I guess people class me as wholesome. I don't think that classes you as wholesome. I can't lie. You have to look at the totality of everything, not just the zooming on one thing someone's done. I don't know. I think the night could go either way. And I think the problem is, I think it's either going to be an amazing evening or probably one of the scariest, worst evenings that you could possibly have. So that's why you're going at D. I just think it's like the vibe, like, I've known people like this. The vibe could get so weird, or it could be like amazing. Again, so different to Cillian Murphy. I feel like that sort of, it's more about his perception of you. I feel like Drake, you'd be. My feeling is like you just wanted to go for a couple pints, and he's like, oh, like you have to come to afters. Like I'm not like there's no you are just like, and you just feel like you haven't. Yeah, he's just gonna be like, nah, you are coming to afters. All right, Ed Sheeran. Again, that early Ed Sheeran clip with Devlin, the one that kind of blew Ed Sheeran up, makes me kind of think he'll be quite fun. But I think he's actually quite intense. I think he's one of them geezers who like look like they're kind of chill at the pub, but is actually like super intense. Yeah, Nico, bro. I feel that. I'm pretty consistent if I'm at the pub, but like, it depends if I'm tired, to be fair. Like, but generally I'm quite consistent. Yeah. People have said they've enjoyed evenings out with me. Ed Sheeran owns a pub. No, this is not about one. No, he doesn't own the pub we're at. Ed is nice. They might own a pub, but he's all right. I'd be nice to the landlords and stuff at our pub. But like, Ed, he's a good guy to have a drink with. The thing with Ed is like, I don't know. I think he's pretty chill. Cowdy, what's up with that? I do think he's actually pretty chill. Let me just picture what the night would look like. All right, we're having a few pints. What's he saying? What's he talking about? He's talking about music, isn't he? Okay, fine. He's talking about music. I probably won't know a lot of the references he's talking about. And then we move on to other topics. Does he in this hypothetical situation in my mind, is he being a bit of a fiend? No, I don't think so. I think he wants to go home. I think he wants to have one pint and go home, maybe. It can't be any less than a B. You think he's on Cillian Murphy and Adele level? I think he's on the... I just don't... I think... As in, Jose, I just don't know a lot about music, like, to that degree. I can talk about it, sort of, but I actually just don't know a lot about music. I can kind of... It's a bit like my knowledge of football. Fazza, based on what's the vibe at the pub? I'm only saying C because it's a bit of a question mark as to like what's actually the vibe of the evening. I think a little bit of me feels like he gets quite drunk and then potentially tries to start a fight with someone. You boys have to kind of completely forget what they've got stakes, interests. Like you got to imagine them without their stuff. That's what we got. You got to try and picture that because, yeah, he owns a pub, but it's not going to be at his pub. He might have a stake in Ipswich. All right, he'll chat about football for a bit, fine. But like, my feeling is that he gets a bit fighty, and he'll try and start a fight with someone in the pub when he gets pissed. I think he's quite calm. Like I had a mate a bit like this, like quite calm, but then you just kind of don't mess with him at a certain point. Jose, I feel like after a few pints, I feel like he does seem a little bit... I've seen some clips. He does seem a little bit fighty. Let me look up, has Ed Sheeran ever been in a fight? He's never been in a fight, according to this. But he has intervened to stop fights in his concerts. Oh, well. Where's Ed? That's not Ed Sheeran. Okay. Okay. I don't know. All right, he's never been in a fight, apparently. Well, that throws my thinking out the window then. But do you think he would start a fight with someone? He might not be in a fight, but do you think he'll be? Do you think he's got enough of an ego to be like beefing the locals at the pub? That's what I think could potentially happen. Oh, Cowdy. Yeah. All right. Well, don't send this to any of these celebrities. Look, if in future I somehow end up working with any of these A-list celebrities, reject everything that I'm saying now. It's all just crack. He seems unproblematic. You can be unproblematic. I get a bit fight starty after a few pints. Sometimes you just get a bit bored. You boys are going to bat for him. I don't know. Have you boys not been at the pub and you got that calm lad with you, but he kind of just gets a bit, because sort of uncalmness comes out when they get a bit drunk. I mean, maybe you boys don't know about this. I can sometimes be that guy. I don't start throwing anything at anyone, but I can definitely get a bit of a bite or a bit of a bark. And I've had like a couple of my mates had to like calm the situation down before. I was just very tired, to be honest, and I was in a bad mood. Jose, no, you just get a bit waffly. I think you boys are talking as if we're talking about when you're stone cold sober. I'm talking about when you get drunk, bro. Punching. Have you boys ever been to the pub? I feel like I'm talking to the lads who have never. Have you been to the pub, lads? All right, let's move them up to B just because you guys are waffling on with it, and I'm low key like you're making me nervous. Fair, Nico. That's a good call. Although one punch death is a bit scary. Crash out staging coming. We got to rush this. Yeah, we really got to get through. All right, Gordon Ramsay. Again, like he did that whole TV show about cocaine. I don't know if you remember it. Be like, my God, everywhere, everyone's doing cocaine all the time. And yeah, I think they tested a number of restaurants and places like that. Ramsay, yeah. Look, I think I've sort of questioned his vibe sometimes, but I actually think he would be an A. No, I don't get into fights, Claire. I just get a bit mouthy, right? Like I have no filter. I don't usually have much of a filter. Yeah, Mix. Drake is not a good. We covered it a lot. A. Look, Gordon Ramsay is, in my opinion, I'd rather go to the pub with Gordon Ramsay than all three on B. He's the slightly older guy in the pub who's got he's got amazing stories. Let's be real, and I think he'll just be very judgmental of everything you say, but like you kind of tolerate it because it's actually kind of sound. I don't know if he drinks though. I can't remember if he does or he doesn't. Anyway, let's move on. Who's that? Harry Styles. Oh, I don't know about Harry Styles pub vibe. I would say my opinion on Harry Styles is essentially the same as Ed Sheeran at the pub. Glazing gone. No, Jose, I don't, bro. But I lose my filter. Like I said, I need to get tested for autism, man. And if you have any autism and you get a bit drunk, you have almost zero filter in my experience. If I do have that or don't, but like, yeah, I just have zero filter. So I'll always say the wrong thing to the right person. Unfortunately, like that's just how it is. It's just I speak before I think. If I get properly pissed. Or at least I did when I was younger, when I was like in my early 20s. Yeah, Harry Styles. Do you know what? I think Harry Styles would be quite fun. You gotta remember though, lads, like anyone can walk into a pub. So if you've been to a pub in London, like there's loads of mixed vibes, and it can become like a great, especially if you get a lock in at a pub, like everyone's vibe just joins into the vibe of the pubs. It's really not about the individual vibe. It's just more about like where can they get there to that sort of group vibe. Like I think Harry Styles, I actually think he's relatively humble. I think that comes from like literally going from like a nobody to like just blowing up overnight through the X Factor or whatever it was. So I think, yeah, I actually think his vibe would be kind of good. I'm going to put him on B tier. Maybe Jose, yeah. But I would, that being said, I would just as easily hang out. Like Gordon Ramsay is what, like 50 to 60? Like yeah, I would easily hang out with, it's not really age so much. It's more, yeah, I mean, Jose, like I can see if you're picturing yourself hanging out with Harry Styles at a pub, like, I can understand, like, where's the context? James Corden, yeah, immediate F. Horrific, absolutely horrific at the pub. Oh my God. Oh, I think that would be one of the longest nights of my entire life. Gordon is my age. I genuinely think that would be such a long night. Like, low-key, I feel like he's going to be rude to the people at the bar. He's going to be like, I'm going to be like, unfortunately, there always is someone who kind of ends up fitting the role, and it's like they always saying the wrong thing as well, like not even the wrong thing to the right people. I was just talking about, they're just saying stuff that's a bit odd, and you're like, mate, like what are you fucking talking about? Yeah, really big L in my opinion. Kim Kardashian, oh, this is a challenging one. You think Kim is S tier for the pub? I actually low-key think she would be quite fun at the pub. Would she be more fun than Adele? I think it'd be interesting seeing American at the. Is she American? Was she born in America? Mate, one lower. What for? James Corden. Not a fan of her. It's not whether you're a fan, Jose. It's imagining you having a pint with her. I think she'll be good crack. Like I genuinely think she. Like I think like I've had some friends who are a bit like, who I would say like have a little bit of maybe a bit of a similar personality. Like they're quite, they're quite career focused, but they're also, the boys are thinking with their. I'm telling you, like this is nothing about that whatsoever. This entire list. So, yeah, she would have the place laughing. You think? I don't think she would, but I think you could have good inside jokes. That's just what I feel. Is like you will have like that sort of like gossipy crack, and I think it's fun. Like it is just fun when you're kind of just talking shit about everyone. She's not S. She's A. I can't call her an S. S, you have Kim Kardashian and Gordon Ramsay's vibe mixed together at the pub is an S, but individually they're an A. Right, is this LeBron James? I really don't know much about him, to be honest. Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell. Like, I genuinely couldn't tell you what his vibe would be at the pub. What would LeBron James's be? What's his vibe generally? I haven't really seen many interviews with him, to be honest. I've seen a few clips here and there, but I feel like I kind of just gonna put him in the middle because I feel like it's a similar vibe to. It's like he's equally talented as Ronaldo as far as his profession. So I think it would be. I just don't know what sort of ego he's got. So I'm just gonna place him there. Is the stream dead or something? Why is everyone quiet? Yeah, Jose. I just think that like, what would we talk about? Oh, where's my phone? Boys, I can't read the Discord now. What? Sorry, one second. Let me check what that was. Oh, what? Oh, the vlog went out. I think it'd be alright at the pub. I don't think it'll be like a magnificent evening, but I think it'll be not bad. Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, Nico. Look, if he was the character of The Wolf of Wall Street, okay, immaculate vibes at the pub. Like, you're probably gonna have one of the best nights of your life, but you'll probably regret half the decisions you make. So I think that like, but it's not. He's not the character. It's Leonardo DiCaprio. I just think he's alright. He's just a bit of a slightly weird vibe as he's gotten older. I would rather go to. Would I rather be at the pub? Yeah, I'm gonna say C just because, like, look. I mean, obviously, I don't know. Is he a melt? No, I wouldn't call him a melt. I just think he seems a bit LA, in my opinion. I think he's a bit like a little bit bitchy. I think it's like also there's that thing of like, what's he like? All his girlfriends have been like, what's the ages they usually are? Like a little bit like, oh mate, like I kind of don't want to hear it anymore. Yeah, Aaron, man, that's kind of what I'm talking about here as far as vibes go. Like you can tell who's kind of kept it real. Like I think this Cillian Murphy, do you know, I might drop Cillian Murphy down to a C. Nah, he'll keep it quite real. I think he'll be real to himself, which will keep the vibe real. It doesn't matter where they usually drink. You're having a pint with them at the pub. That's the situation you're in. But you think he would want? Are you saying he wouldn't want to be? He would want to go somewhere nicer? Yeah, that is the vibe I get, which is not a bad thing. Jose, like, there's a sort of thing. All his girlfriends have been between the age of like, what's it like? I'm being careful of libel here, lads. I don't know. You need to look it up. There's news articles about he's had very, very well, not very, very young, a lot younger than him girlfriends, like, and consistently his girlfriends have been around the same age, and seemingly they break up at some point when they reach a certain. It's a bit odd. That element would kind of always be there on the night, and I'd be like, oh, I can't be like, if he talks about it a lot, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to hear any more about this. Anyway, Messi, immediate, super humble guy in my opinion. Yeah, Messi gets an A in my opinion. I think Messi would be super sound at the pub. That's what I heard, yeah. I just think it'd be like at his big age now, I'll be like, mate, I've kind of had enough hearing about this shit. Like, Messi gets an A. Messi would be. I just think he'd be super chill. He'd be super chill. I think you could have like quite calm conversation with him. I think it's a perfect lad to have a pint with on a Sunday. Because in my opinion, there's a sort of a humbleness to him that I think would mean that he seems to be less interested in talking about himself. I think even though he's Messi, I think he'll ask you questions about yourself. Claire, I low-key feel that. Maybe it's just our like undiagnosed connection. But I just think out of the two, I'd rather go for a pint with Messi personally. So that's a bit of a personal one. And you boys can veto it at the end if you want. Who's this? Is this Margot Robbie? Honestly, I haven't heard much from her in the last few years. Is that Margot Robbie? Nah, you lads are just you bit low-key, just a bit too thirsty, man. It's not that sort of pub vibe. You're going with some mates, yeah. You're not going on a date. I don't think Margot Robbie's an S tier. Wait, is she from Australia? She immediately goes up one spot if she's from Australia. Yeah, I think Margot would be fun. Is she from Australia? Yeah, Claire. That's why I'm kind of ignoring when someone spams S straight away. Is she Australian? If she's Australian, she immediately moves up one tier. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Aussies are either the funnest people at the pub or the like most awkward and kind of like irritating people at the pub. Like there's one like, yeah, you can either you're gonna have a fun night with all the Aussies or they're just low key being a bit awkward about everything. Yeah, but she does seem like she'd be good crack. She straight away I would put Margot Robbie at a B. I do think she'd be good crack at the pub. I honestly don't know enough to say A or S. So like Aussie girls. Nah, I mean it's not so much that. Again, this is just a friend. You're just going with a group of friends and they happen to be there. So I just think generally Australians are either the best person in the pub or the worst person in the pub. That like I've never really seen it different. I've never seen like an Australian at the pub is like, I don't really feel either way about them. It's like either they're like, I'm like, yeah, this is easily the top tier person at the pub, or the F tier person at the pub. That's just my experience. Might not be true for all Australians. Who knows? Right, Mr. Beast. I don't know. That live stream he did with Aiden Ross and XQC low-key moved him down one tier in my opinion. I just didn't Uh, I think he'd still be all right at the pub. I think he'd be all right. I think he'd just be like quite a typical American at the pub. He'd have to prove me wrong. No, I think he seems to understand himself enough to like be somewhat interesting to have a pint with, but like also at the same time, like, yeah, I think to be honest, I think he can be a bit like, based on his early videos and stuff like that, and when he actually had a bit of like grit to him, in all sorts of different directions, I think he could bring some of that out, and I think it'd be quite like interesting to sort of see it unfold. But yeah, punishing, I've heard. Now, how is a C a glaze? How is it? I just think this is like where I'm putting like Americans where I'd like, you think down. I don't think, I genuinely don't think Mr. Beast is Drake and James Corden level at the pub. How is Mr. Beast? Nah, he's just kind of, it's like, it'll be alright. It'll be like an alright pub moment. He's not as bad as Drake and James Corden at the pub. How is saying Mr. Beast is like, would be better at the pub than Drake and James Corden a glaze? Nah, that's a L take from you, chat. That's not a glaze. Glaze would be putting him like there, or there. That's like, oh, it'd be alright. It's like, be interesting to talk. To be honest, maybe it's a personal thing. It should be interesting to talk about the business and ask questions and stuff. Iron Man, I just think he's just more brand friendly. I mean, it'd be a bit like going to the pub as a brand partnership event. Yeah, it's a paid partnership of going to the pub. Like, essentially, you're going to the pub as a paid partnership. It's a C. It's not the end of the world. It's a paid event. Like, you're there. You know, it's like, you know, it's whatever. That's what I'm saying, Jose. I think people aren't seeing clearly. You know, oh man, Drake stans are not going to be happy with this one. I don't think anyone's a stan of James Corden, so I think that's fine. Just, what, you think I fancy, what, C tier? What's his name again? Robert Downey Jr. Isn't he sort of famously sober now as well? But he's not an S tier. In my opinion, I actually don't like his vibe at all. I think he comes across like up himself. I actually don't like him, like his vibe. Yeah, it was just vibe premise. We can say generally vibes. I just don't like his vibe. In some ways, it feels like he's playing a character even when he's not playing a character. That's just kind of how I feel. And I think it'd be quite tiring at the pub. But then again, he's sober, so like obviously he's on a little sober day or whatever. So I'm really like, indifferent. Ryan Reynolds, right? Fazza, I think you guys are talking about the characters. You guys are talking about Iron Man. You guys are talking about, would you want to be at a pub with Iron Man, not the actor. The actor is not the character, lads. Robert Downey Jr. Ryan Reynolds. Again, I don't really know much about his vibe as a actual person, not the roles. This is hard. Oh man, why would it be fun? I feel like you're talking about. Didn't he play? He played Deadpool, right? I think you're talking about Deadpool. I don't think you're talking about Ryan Reynolds. That's the vibe I'm getting. If you're talking about Deadpool, yeah. If you're talking about Ryan Reynolds, I have no idea. I think that. Oh man, he's American, right? I think we just got to chuck him in with with the other few Americans. All right. So maybe he does like to drink. He'll make the evening fun. All right. I think he probably has got a bit of fun in him. Like, he's Canadian. All right. Yeah. All right. We can put a Canadian on B. But in my opinion, an Australian is better crack at the pub than a Canadian. Canadians can sometimes be not such good crack. My name is Walter White. I live at 308 Negro Avenue, Albuquerque, New Mexico. 87. Okay. Why timeout? He's a chill guy. Oh, it's just okay. Oh, Clay keeps you in a job. All right. No, I can't do that. Clay, you can veto him at the end. All right, no need to glaze. Who's this? Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney. All right, Cowdy. Sabrina Carpenter. Oh man, I don't know celebrities at all. Sabrina Carpenter. She's just not going to be as good as Margot Robbie at the pub. So, in my opinion, should be. Yeah. Honestly, inoffensive. I think she's probably a little bit like. She's just a little bit like what's the word, like LA. I think she'd be kind of like annoying LA vibe, but honestly not that bad. Like I've been to the pub with LA vibe people. I don't know, Punishing Man. I think again you're talking about Iron Man. I don't think you're talking about Robert Downey Jr. You're talking about Robert Downey Jr. Like he, in my opinion, he just plays a character all the time, man. I don't know. Like he seems like I don't know. It always feels like he's playing some sort of character, even in interviews and stuff. I don't think it'd be that real. Like that's why he's there. Like sort of small scale celebrities, Jose. Yeah, not anyone massive though. Okay, all right, you're going to bat for him, but you think he would be as good as Adele, Cillian Murphy, Ed Sheeran? Oh my god, my names are getting out of my brain. Oh, what's his name again? Harry Styles, Margot Robbie, and Ryan Reynolds. You telling me Robert Downey Jr. is on B? Does anyone else feel that way? Harry Styles, yeah. I just don't see that, man. I get the vibe. Like I just don't feel he keeps it very real. Claire, it's so hard to know what to do with Americans at the pub. Yeah, we'll do another list, maybe British A-lists. All right, you boys are really going to bat for him here. All right, just because you're going to bat for him, so I don't agree with that, but it makes the list kind of look nice. It should always look like these lists, because the middle should always be the highest point. If you've got the correct data set, the list should actually always look like a pyramid like that, because it should always be heavily weighted in the middle. So that makes it look more correct anyway. All right, Shaq. Yeah, he'd be good crack, wouldn't he? I mean, he'd easily be the tallest geezer in the pub. You think Shaq's a C? I don't know. I feel like because of his height, you'd have lots of people coming to have a conversation with you. Yeah, I think he's probably good crack. Yeah, I think he's probably good bants. And I think if he gets a bit drunk, he'll be like, the bants will get like low key, like crazy. And I think that'll be actually quite funny. No, I think if he gets drunk, the bants are just like low key. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe you're saying this. I think that's quite funny at the pub. Who's this? Is that Stormzy? Damn, he looks different. Yeah, Stormzy's an A, isn't he? I feel like. No, we're not gonna. We've. I think we purposely left off P Diddy from this list, AJ. Yeah, Stormzy's good crack. Yeah, I think Stormzy's as good as these top 3. Yeah, Stormzy would be good at the pub for sure. Yeah, it'll be a good night. It'll be a good night. Go to Motive afterwards. Like it'll be good. Like it'll be a good night. Susan Boyle. I just remember that tweet she once made, or her team once made. Yeah, go on. I think she's the only one that's going to be real. Yeah, you can't. Susan Boyle just clears. She's the only one who's going to keep it real. Yeah, it's also just nice that S and Susan, D and Drake. Yeah, Susan Boyle clears this whole list, to be honest. I'd rather go to the pub with Susan Boyle than anyone on this list. And I'm not even just saying that for the crack. Like, I genuinely believe that. Like, at least it'll be like, I feel like, I don't know. You don't know what the vibes are going to be, so at least it'll be interesting. Taylor Swift, yeah, pretty uninteresting pub experience. Yeah, I think. Oh man, I low-key don't want all the Swifties on my flipping rear end. It wouldn't be as bad as like low-key Drake. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be I think it would be as fun as going out, like Sabrina Carpenter would be. I think it would become quite like a gossipy night, which I think might be sort of interesting. We're not talking about whether someone's. Sometimes the plain people, boys, are very interesting at the pub. Like, they've got a lot to say when they get a bit drunk. Like, it's quite interesting. So I just think it'd be quite interesting, like, to hear like devoid of brand awareness what she's saying. For that reason alone, I'm just gonna. How can I put Sabrina Carpenter? Do you know what? Ronaldo actually has to be. Yeah, we got to do that. I can't keep Ronaldo. I'm sorry, lads. I can't have Ronaldo. I think this is why I like to. Yeah, Ronaldo definitely has to move up for that. No, 100%. Yeah, Ronaldo's a B. I can't have Ronaldo with these lot. You're saying weird things now. What? Yeah, I mean Swifties as in Taylor Swift's fans, like getting at me if I put her at D or an F with Drake and James Corden. In some ways, I think that should be the real listing. I might just, do you know what? Fudge 'em. I've got to leave that there. Like, I can't. It's not going to be a good time at the pub, is it? Like, I feel like she's got, in my opinion, she's got a similar energy to James Corden. And that, I genuinely feel that way. Oh man, am I ruining my career here? All right, chill. What you think? You think what, Drake? Nah, she's got James Corden energy. Let's be real clear. I feel like those two vibe quite a lot on interviews and stuff. You think I'll get cancelled by her fans? Why? Do they not like James Corden? It's just factual, isn't it? Let me look up Taylor Swift then. Let's see what their vibe was like. Have they interviewed each other? Oh, has he interviewed her? No. Oh. No? What the hell is this? I low-key don't want to play it in case he gets a bit litigious and tries to like flipping take down the stream. Why is there is that Mandarin? Nah, they're a very similar vibe in my opinion. On your head be it. Alright, fine, just in case. What you think, D? I think that's worse. She's definitely not a C tier at the pub. Vibes wise, she's a D tier. Alright, it's just gonna have to be what it's gonna be. The Rock. Ah man, he's not gonna be fun at the pub, is he? I watched him on Joe Rogan's podcast. Jose, I'm sure I just couldn't find the clip. Put Drake F. Nah, Drake's not F because like the night could go either way in my opinion, and it's gonna be either the worst night ever or the best night ever. Just because I think like he'll spend a lot of money on you. Like I think he'll be like, right, come to the most expensive spot ever, and we'll go on me. Like, so I do think he can be quite generous in that sense, but also it could be like very odd the night and just you kind of feel, yeah. Anyway, Rock is not C tier in my opinion. No, The Rock is D tier. The Rock he just never seems like he can be real. And I like that's what I look for mostly. It's Tom Hanks, right? That's his name. Oh my! Why have all the names gone out of my head? Despite I've got to be very careful what I say here. Despite everything, I actually think Tom Cruise. What? Oh, fucking hell! Despite sorry, I'm really tired. Despite everything, I actually think he'd be a good crack at the pub. Yeah, he's higher than a C in my opinion. Tom Cruise would be a B at the pub. Like he'd be very serious, like, but actually I think he'd be quite good at the pub. And like the pub I suppose doesn't like get fighty. Yeah, he'll be interesting. A bit like Indiana Jones at the pub. But like I just think that like the pub doesn't judge, right? You know, within reason. So yeah, Tom Cruise. You know, it's a public meeting space for everyone, and I think he'd actually be all right crack there. Yes, Tom Cruise. Fine. Gosh, now how long's the delay? Right. Oh, what's his name? Actually, it's just gone out of my head. Tom Hardy. Thank you. Again, I think he's on. I think he's the same vibe as Cillian Murphy. I think Tom Hardy. I think you'll say slightly the wrong thing, and he'll immediately take it the wrong way. And yeah, Tom Hardy. Yeah, I think he understands going to the pub. Yeah, I think so as well. I think he understands going to the pub, but I just think you'll easily say the wrong thing to him. Where am I in this list? Personally, I think I'm an A tier, but I don't know if you guys would agree with that. I think quite a few people I know would agree with that. Maybe a B tier, to be honest. I place him high for the same reason as lads wanted Margot and S. Okay. Yeah. He's just not an A tier. Well, maybe he is actually. I feel like if we put Tom Hardy in A, we've got to move Cillian Murphy to A. Jose, he is quite easily offended, brother. I've seen quite a few interviews where he seems to get like shirty. To be fair, it's like annoying news people he's getting shirty with, but he easily could get offended. He's not the sort of tough and rough character. He's quite sensitive, seemingly. Which is fine. It's not a problem at all, but I just think I've got to be careful. I'm A tier, thank you. Cillian and Tom Hardy, A works for you. I just think that they would be good together at the pub, because then they would be like, then they'd be like, you know, I think they would just be like triggering each other with everything they're saying. Who's this? Is this Zendaya? Jose, man, like, you haven't seen me at the pub, brother. Like, I remember back in uni, I got banned from the one pub because I didn't really have a lot of money at the time, so I was having a few tinnies outside with everyone drinking, and they were like, I got banned for like a week, and when I went back, there was literally a round of applause. I know that sounds so up myself, but like I had a good vibe there. Like I was there a lot. And all the students and stuff like who go to this local pub there were like, he's back. So I had very good vibes at the pub. Like, I was a bit like, who did I say this about? I was a bit like, who was it? Andrew Garfield. I see myself like, I think I'm a bit better than Andrew Garfield at the pub, but I see myself as Andrew Garfield. Like I will go along with whatever evening it was. Yeah, I don't really know anything about Zendaya. I literally have no clue. Like, again, I feel like these two would be quite good at the pub together. Like, it'd be quite like a gossipy evening, I feel. Oh, you think better than Sabrina Carpenter? I think, yeah, it just depends on how, like, real she can keep it. I don't know, though. I think it'll be as good as Andrew Garfield at the pub. Andrew Garfield, I low-key feel, I might move him up one. I am going to move him up one. I think it'd be really like up for a night out. Like whatever you want to go do, it'll be up for. So I think that makes more sense to me. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay, who's this? Tom Holland. I think he's like Andrew Garfield. Like it'll be up for a night, but I think he's a little bit more of a melt. So I think Andrew Garfield gets a C. Not Tom Holland gets a C. Which is didn't those two used to date, or they still do, or something like that. Yeah, he's Hey, brother, it's not the characters he's playing. You're just talking about Spider-Man. Oh shit, let me close the windows. A bit bangy. Oh, they're engaged. Yeah, they can stay at C then. I think that's funny that I didn't really know that, and I ended up picking them next to each other. Yeah, but did he go to a public school? Is Tom old enough to drink? Did he go to a public school, or did he go to like a state school or a private school? This affects quite significantly his pub vibe, in my opinion. I mean, you do get some public school lads who are actually good crack at the pub, but like it can kind of tip it either way. No idea. Oh, fair. I'm not going to bother to research it, but I was going to say we don't need to. Who's this? I don't know who that is. His brother went to school with your cousin in Dagestan. No, I'm joking. I know you're from. You grew up in Kingston. Were you born in Kingston, Nico? Yeah, that makes sense. Are they from that area then? Oh, Dua Lipa. That's crazy, Nico, bro. What was his brother like? Dua Lipa. Low-key, I feel like I'll just get drunk and be making jokes about doing a leap. Dua Lipa over that table and get us around. I'm just gonna do a leap to the toilet. I just need a piss. I'm just gonna do a leap over to the pool table. Place a ball. I think we'd get annoyed. I think I'd get annoyed. Like she's fully rolling her eyes at me. She's Albanian. Oh man, if Rode was here, she'll go to bat for her. He would go to bat for her. Fair, Nick. I actually think Tom Holland seems like relatively down to earth, if I'm being honest. Nah. If it was Charlie XCX, maybe. Nah. An A. Nah. Jose, it's quite a funny meme, bro. I wish I came up with that. It's a meme. And I just sometimes get like a tunnel vision on something. And I think, unfortunately, I get tunnel vision on the idea that is just because she's English and Albanian. I don't really know much about her. I think she'll be better cracked than these lot at the pub, so she gets a B. Yeah, I think she'll actually be quite sound. That's the list. It's correct because it's got this weighting like this. These lists are always correct if they look like this because the heaviest weighting should be in this middle bit. I think it's probably heavily weighted slightly up because of your guys' like stronger feelings towards celebrity. I think quite a few names here I would have put if I truly did it to how I felt, my heavier weighting would be C. But I think this is me just taking into account you guys like going to bat for quite a few of these lot. Particularly like, yeah, Ryan Reynolds wouldn't be there. Tom Hardy wouldn't be there. Cillian Murphy would be there. Dua Lipa would probably be there. Ronaldo would probably be there. Yeah, my weighting would be slightly one lower. But any vetoes? Kim K and Messi need nerfing. Go on, make your case. Nah, Messi would be good, man. I don't know, maybe it does need a nerf. Oh, I don't know. There's no way that the only A then is flipping Gordon Ramsay and Stormzy. Veto Tom Hardy up one. How is Tom Hardy? Look. Let's see his vibe. Obviously, an interview is not a direct vibe.
and we're an LGBT news organization. And our question is for Tom Hardy. In the film, your character Ron, do you find it hard for sexuality?
Apart from the select few, you know, who I see as dogs.
How long ago was that you?
The cars were.
Is this like, obviously he's got like a little bit of like a kind of like a what's it like? He's not Cockney, but he's got like a bit of an East Ender vibe. Like, what's it? Is his family from that area? Like, is he from South London, or like does he put this on?
That was one car.
Probably the cars. You do a.
Or is he actually like a proper like geezer? That's what I can't tell. What's up, Road? Is he a proper geezer? I think his dad was famous, no? Did he go to Brit school? Yeah, man, that's the thing I don't think the lads are seeing. Unfortunately, like I've been to a few geezer pubs in London, and like lads who put it on like that, low-key just don't fit in necessarily. He was born in Hammersmith, London, doesn't give much. Did he go Brit school? Road, I only want to hear positivity from you at the minute. What do you mean I'm very biased? I've been extremely unbiased during this whole process. You haven't been here, brother. Are you talking to someone? Oh, you said it again. Oh, my bad. I take that back. Oh, we had a long... Wait, where do you think Ronaldo should be? I'm not a geezer, no. I never put it on that I was one, but there's definitely lads I knew who would pretend to be geezers. Why? Where do you think Ronaldo should be, Rod? Why? Okay, I think you just like the footballers. We've covered a lot of ground on this. I can't lie. You would have really had to be. We had long conversations about it. I know, Claire. I know. But I can't have in many ways. Ronaldo is better than all of these lot at the pub. Let's be real. Let's be so real. And there's no way Messi is as good as Susan Boyle at the pub. Don't joke. Yeah, Road, but at the pub, there's no aura at the pub, bro. The whole world shuts off. There's no aura. You're just at the pub with the person. They don't bring that aura into the pub. So if they've got an ego from their aura, yeah, no one's got aura at the pub. It doesn't work like that. The vibes at the pub are the vibes at the pub. You lose all aura. You can have the most famous person walk into a proper pub, and they like the locals will be like, oh, you're getting a bit of side eye. Like, who's this? Like, they wouldn't care. Now, that being said, obviously, if you walk into a pub as football is different, but trust me, bro. You walk into the right football's different. So you got to pretend not football, because football would be different at the pub, because the pub and football are two things that go hand in hand. So people would care if footballers were there, but we're not talking about. You got to pretend that this is just like people are successful at what they do. I know, but you got to look at them. You got to hypothetically say if it wasn't football, because we're not talking about what would everyone else think at the pub. It's like you are sat across them at the pub for 5 hours having a few pints. What's their vibe? And you're telling me, like, what questions would you ask Ronaldo, Road? What conversation would you have with Ronaldo at the pub? To be fair, if he was at, like, I don't think he'd be at the pub with you, Road, specifically for because it'd be kind of strange. But imagining if in the hypothetical, if you were at the pub with him, what conversation would you have? Right. So outside the conversation of football, what conversation would you have? What if you didn't want to talk about football? What are you chatting about? That's what I'm saying, Claire. Some of these, like, they definitely wouldn't know that exactly, Road. Yeah, exactly, Road. That's a problem. Yeah, he's not going to want your opinion on football, to be perfectly honest. What do you mean, what kind of question is that? Why would Ronaldo want your opinion on football? Why would he want to have any conversation with a normal person about football? He's literally like one of the best football players ever. Vito Mr. Beast. You think Ronaldo want to sit there and take a Q&A at the pub, Road? He's not going to want to have he's not going to want an interview about football at the pub, mate. He's at the pub. So you have to have a normal conversation. It's the pub, brother. It's the vibes. That's what vibes are. It's not an interview. If you're talking about interviews, yeah, that's a whole different. This would look completely different. But you're at the pub. It's not an interview. That's what I'm saying. I had Ronaldo down at a C, bro. I really wouldn't have much conversation. I think it's conversation. It would be difficult. I think Messi would be good because his insight into the world seems a bit different. Messi seems to ask more questions of the world, in my opinion, and so therefore I think conversation could shift all around to anything. Really, you could talk politics, you could talk industries, you could talk anything really. Yeah, I'm saying the vibes, brother. I have an imagination. You can have look. We've all been in agreement with this. It doesn't break the sort of theme breaking you're saying with this test doesn't sit because we've all had lots of conversation around this concept and been quite fine hypothetically. So the theme is not broken. We've talked for about an hour and a half about it, so the theme is definitely there. I'm more fun in a night out than I am in the pub. Yeah, but the pub is just where you start the night. You end up on a night out. Yeah, Ronaldo. I do have an imagination. My imagination is actually quite good. Yeah, we're just talking hypothetically, like what you just project what if you've had experiences with similar sorts of people. Generally find that like very professional athletes are actually depends what type of athlete they are. Sometimes they can not be like rugby players are some of the funnest athletes at the pub. We did rank on aura. This is the same thing, bro. This is just adult aura. Aura is what pub vibe, pint vibe at the pub is what adults call aura. Ronaldo over Messi. That's mad, bro. At the pub. LeBron. Why? To be fair, we put him there because we just didn't really know. What about him seems like a fun guy? I don't think he's more fun than Shaq at the pub. Yeah, he's not as good as Susan Boyle, let's be real. He's funny and has insight. That kind of the threshold is not really that like it's hard to explain this sort of vibe and like I don't think that gives you aura if you're funny. Maybe it does give you aura if you're funny and insight. That's why I think it's a bit more of a grown-up thing. Like, I think you can have no humor and no insight and be very good at the pub. This is the problem. It's not being good at the pub is actually not being about talkative. Some of the best nights I've had with people, vibes-wise, they're not particularly talkative people, but they just get you. Do I got moves though? No, Nico, bro, none whatsoever. In fact, I face planted once and cracked my eyebrow open. It's hard to explain. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, Ro, I don't know how much pub experience you've got or none, but like, no, because I've been to the pub many times and not drunk. It's more like Let me think of a relatable situation for you then. What situation do you think would be more relatable for you? That you can sort of reimagine what we're talking about. What would be a sort of similar thing for you? It's just the pub is just something that like a majority of people here have had some experience with. But if that's not something you've had a lot of experience with or any, there are other examples you come up with. All right, what about I'm trying to think of a sport or something. It basically just needs to be like let's say going to a meal for dinner. Have you been to a meal with someone like a friend or something like that? Get the karaoke on later. I was saying. Yeah. Okay. So in that circumstance, it does change the list a little bit, but it's relatively similar. Like it inspires more conversation if you're out having like a meal with someone. Let's imagine if it's like a few people at the meal and they just happen to be one of the people there. Okay, Nico, thank you, bro. You think what, you and LeBron having a meal? You think that's S? I think the situation here is that you like LeBron as a personality, and I think this is what the lads felt about Spider-Man, felt about some of the other characters, like Claire felt about Adele. I think that you like him as a celebrity. You're a fan, I think, and that's coming through. I think this is what I felt with the other lads, because he's funny. I don't think the threshold for me is the threshold for me because someone's funny and has insight. Yeah, maybe for a dinner, that would be quite good. I can't picture him being as good as Susan Boyle though. He's just a cool dude. Maybe you know more about him. I mean, you can have a veto up to B. I mean, I wouldn't mind a veto onto B for LeBron. Claire. You went to bat for her immediately, Claire. You spammed S, just like Punishing did with Sabrina Carpenter. All right. I'm feeling bad for Road because like, oh, you can't have an opinion then. All right, there you go, bro. You can have it. You can veto him up one. He's not going to be better than Shaq at a restaurant or a pub. Yeah, that is Kim Kardashian. If you're either going to see the vision of Kim K at the restaurant or the pub, or you're not. But I think we all came to a conclusion that we see the vision of actually it'll be quite a good night. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't see the vision. Don't worry about that one. Don't worry about that one. The vision is there. I think the vision is there with Kim K. Like I think she's genuinely like, I think she's like, I think it's a bit over Haiti to be like, nah, she's not A. No, Road. None of that has been for me at least. None of that has been the inspiration behind this list whatsoever. I have lots of friends who have been girls and women who I've had many a night with, and it's not been about that. So yeah, this is not about that. No, it's not about that at all. Don't worry about that one. We don't need your opinion on that one. What the hell, Claire? Nah, Kim K will be good. Kim K's got aura. She's got pint aura. She's got restaurant aura. What do you mean? It's nothing to do with how someone looks. Nah, Claire, are you telling me if you saw Kim K at the pub, you wouldn't be like, that would be a good person to have a drink with? Or at a restaurant, be like, oh, I wish I was like. I think she is actually a relatively good listener. And I genuinely think she's overhated. Nah, I don't think so. I in my opinion, I think should be a Claire. I think that's overhate a little bit. I think that's the character. I don't think that the reality. I don't think it's as the person. I think that maybe I'm wrong with that. Well, we don't really know a personality, lads. Let's be real. We don't know any of these people's personalities on a real one, but nah, she's worked for. They didn't start out with stuff, to be honest. They've sort of grinded for what they have, but like, I just think I've hung out with people who have got a similar vibe to her, like, and been on nights out with them, and they're actually like, they look after you on the night out, like they're good crack. All right, fair, bro. I mean, maybe you know more than me about that. If you're just talking about wealthy, yeah, like, and if wealth spoils you, yeah, that's true for everyone pretty much on this list. Yeah, that element of it's like, I think it's just a bit clout chasey. How many subs does someone have to be famous? It's not really about subs. Someone could have 100k subs and be famous in their like community. It's more about like weight within the. It's like social weight. Like, how influential are you? Brother, like, yeah, I mean, Drake is a D, bro. Oh my God. To be honest, brother, like, he's not cool, man. Watch his Joe Rogan interview, bro. He literally looks like he's just out of script. All right, I can't cover this whole list again, unfortunately, because we've been on this for like 2 hours. I'm gonna have to cut a little break there. I'm gonna have to move on to something else. Yeah, it's coming up to 7. I can't. You should have been it, brother, because you would have heard you could have made all the arguments. But I know you had some stuff to do. All right, well, there's our list for now. I'm not moving anyone. I think I'm happy-ish with this. Susan Boyle's a clear winner, yeah. Sorry, Road. I'm gonna have to change the segment. I know, bro. I know. I just can't. Oh no, it's good. I just can't hang on the segment. We've literally been on it for 2 hours. Oh, it's only the Sig. Hanar. Susan Boyle clears this list. But I don't think Rode actually probably knows who Susan Boyle is. That's not helping, Claire. This is his first introduction to Susan. Yeah, we're a Susan Boyle stan, I guess. I mean, yeah. I just remember that. I dreamed a dream of time. Claire, while I go for a cig, you tell him what the context of that is. All right, see, I'll come back in a bit, boys.